Many times we read about to get a degree, just to get employed. It is not bad. But a marriage is a lifetime commitment. And being a lifetime commitment, I need to know how to behave. If I am a wife, I need to be the best wife.
Sure.
If I am fighting in school to get to number 1 so that I can get a present, what about a marriage where I have children that I need to mentor? I am the one he was attracted to in the beginning. He could have chosen among the many.
Yes.
And so I must maintain
Wow.
the sparkle. You see?
Hello and praise Jesus. How are you doing? We thank God for your support, guys, and welcome you to another segment which we are doing today. We have been doing a lot of videos on marriage, and it's like we've been us alone on the set. So today we have decided to go professional. We have our friends who are joining us today for this video. We are going to touch on marriage, and they are counselors. They have been married for years and years, but they will give us their introduction, then give us the whole story on marriage. So welcome so much, David and Damaris. We thank you so much for accepting to be with us here. So maybe we normally say ladies first. I'll give Damaris a chance to introduce herself, then David. Karibu Damaris.
Thank you very much,
Yeah.
even for this opportunity. I want to say to greet all the viewers today, and I hope what we are going to discuss will be an enlightenment, even to understand the things that affect marriage and the things we are doing right and the things that we need to change so that we can make our marriage more enjoyable and strengthen the bonds, because when we started marriage, we started from the point of love and we said it's forever. And we would want this forever to be a forever without strains, without struggles, but a forever that we can look forward to. And so even as I sit here, I trust God as a born-again Christian that I am just a vessel in his hands that he can use even to touch lives.
Yes.
Thank you.
Awesome. David.
Thank you very much. I'm David Otieno. I've been in marriage for 16 years. I would like mostly to identify with the challenges that we pass through, especially in marriage, some of them, and how we go about when we have struggles in our marriage. God intended us to be married for good, but many things have cropped up that have kind of separated families, and people are craving for different things, which probably are making us to veer away from our intended purpose. So I hope that during our conversation, we are going to identify with some of these challenges, see how we can adjust, see where we've gone wrong and how we can correct them, and trusting God that we will improve a number of our marriages, our marriage relationships. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you so much. Damaris. David has told us he has been in marriage for 16 years. What about you?
Well, first of all is to say my name is Damaris Mungai. I'm born again. I love Jesus. I am a professional counselor. I have been practicing counseling for the last 22 years. I have been married to Moses Mungai
Wow.
for the last 35 years.
Wow.
God has blessed us with the 4 children, 2 daughters and 2 sons. And we have 2 sons-in-laws because my daughters happen to be married. And I have 3 grandchildren. I thank God for God's blessings. Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. Amen. Our viewers, now you can see the people we have come with. This shows the information you are going to get here, it's legit. It's not opaque. You're not giving opaque information, opaque results. So it's people who have experience in marriage, who have gone through it. They are in it and they know what brings failures in marriage, what brings success in marriage, because they have been in marriage and they are counselors. So they have practiced counseling for years. Today, counseling watu wengi hawaioni kama ni a profession to go for. And I'm here sitting with counselors. What inspired you, Damaris, to do counseling?
When I was in my marriage, there was some challenges. And I always say when we get married, the only example we have of my marriage is a marriage between my father and my mom. And some people don't have the privilege of having a mother and a father that are married. So they are coming with a blank slate, meaning they don't have an understanding of what marriage is. And because they don't have an understanding, they go with their own thoughts. This is how I'm going to run my marriage. Others who have come from marriage, families that are married, they are already having some negatives from what they see their fathers and their mother doing, and they are saying, I don't want to be like my mom, or I don't want to be like my dad. I don't want a husband that behaves like my father, or I don't want a wife that behaves like my mom. And so when I'm getting into this marriage, I want to be a different kind of a wife. I want to be a different kind of a husband. Yet, I have no knowledge whatsoever how I should behave, because the only information as a counselor, when we are learning, we take, just like doctors, we take the history. We want to understand, where are you coming from? Because if you are coming to imitate somebody else, you can never be successful in imitating somebody else. You can only be yourself. And so when people are coming in this marriage, I'll say they are coming without knowledge. And so people should create their own family. I will say we have the whole which releases a nuclear. And that is why we have a nuclear family. And because of this nuclear family, it has to be generic. It has to build its own way. What do they want in their marriage? And so they become individuals. And so I always tell people, it is important for us. I love leading. And sometimes I overdo myself with leading. I lead a lot. And because sometimes we have to get knowledge. If you read the book of Hosea 4:6, it says, my people perish due to lack of knowledge. It is finding that knowledge. What are those people have written books about marriage? Because we will read a lot of things. Many times we read about to get a degree, just to get employed. It is not bad. But a marriage is a lifetime commitment. And being a lifetime commitment, I need to know how to behave. If I am a wife, I need to be the best wife. If I am fighting in school to get to number 1 so that I can get a present, what about a marriage where I have children that I need to mentor? So I need to have that price. And so I have to get the best books and read and understand how is a good wife supposed to behave. That is, should I be a Proverbs 31 woman? A Proverbs that one woman that is more precious than gold. And probably if I have to be a Proverbs that one woman, then I need to read and understand what are Proverbs that one woman needs to do. And so it is good to enrich myself with the knowledge that is there out there, because there is a lot of knowledge and a positive knowledge that will teach me how to become the best wife that there is. Yeah.
Wow. That desire to know more, that desire to know how you should behave, how you should be in that marriage to ensure that the marriage works. You have mentioned something, and I've loved that we go to school to study for a degree so that we can get a job. And a job, actually there is retirement for a job. At 65 you go. You have to go back home. But for marriage it's lifetime. This is something, not only like you are not dealing with yourself alone. There are children coming in your life. You have also to mentor them. So you have to be prepared for them to know how to mentor them. And I think because of that desire, your direction went to counseling. And now I know those two girls who are married, in their marriages, they can say, we had a mother. She showed us the way. And the brothers, they are also celebrating where they are. Wale wasichana wanakamu kwa hiyo boma, watapata a mother-in-law wenye wata celebrate. Amazing. David, you are also in counseling.
Yes.
Ni nini ilikufanya uingie kwa counseling? What made you to have that desire to do counseling?
Okay, I'm David. I love counseling because one of the things that women are blessed with is bottling up our issues. We don't open up easily. We don't break easily. And this is one thing that helps our counterparts to live more fuller life than women. We bottle up a lot of issues. And also the fact that we usually have deep-seated taught ideas in ourselves that we kind of live by, just like what we were trained, what we saw with our parents, what the society has taught us, the church has taught us, the school have taught us, our friends have taught us, and we try to apply some of these things, and some of them do well, some of them fail. And at least when one is enlightened, you will take caution not to do so much on this or that. Yes.
Wow.
So that's what helped me.
Amazing. So that enlightenment, you have to get the information. Thank you so much, because I think that is what we need. And actually this generation needs our information. There is something I've noted and I've observed. Your generation, when you are getting into marriage, marriages used to last for long. And that's why we can now hear of people are married for 45 years, 50 years, 35 years, 16 years. But with this generation, there has been so many breakups in marriages. And even imeleta that pressure, am I sure if I get married today, my marriage will last? So the youths have fear on that. Naona nitaanza kuchekelewa nikitoka kwa marriage nini. So you get that the youths they have fear in them, that they don't want to get married because of that. So what was the secret? What is the secret enye hiyo time mulikuwa nayo? David, let me begin with you.
Thank you very much. in my introduction, I told you that I identify more with the current generation where marriages ziko na glue kidogo, on and off. So I think that our foundation is very important. What we believe in marriage, how we expect it to be, and at times we come there with gray areas in our lives. So merging these gray areas is really a big issue. Yeah. Thank you.
Wow. Damaris, you've been there for 35 years. What is that secret which we as the youths, we are missing?
When I started earlier, I talked about challenges.
Yeah.
And those challenges pushed me to counseling.
Wow.
Because I made up my mind. I am here to stay. And of course, everything that is good attracts challenges. A good husband will attract many women. I remember at times when we were talking with ladies, these ladies things, they say, we have maintained our husband so well. They've become so successful. And women are looking for success. And so there is nothing wrong with maintaining your husband and making him look good. But the danger also is, as good as he looks, the more attractive he becomes. Because women look for success. Because a woman needs to be provided for. And so the woman looks for that power.
Yeah.
A man will look for power to provide for his family. A woman is looking for power to be provided for. And so they will be very much attracted to this well-groomed man. And being a Proverbs that one woman, where your man sits and it's admired, there is that danger, of course. There is that danger of many
other ladies will be, now their eyes will be...
Their eyes are glued and they want. And of course, those are challenges that comes. And so, as a woman, you need to ask yourself. And so you fight women, and I always tell women, fighting the long battles. If it is my husband, I don't need to look for a woman that has been attracted to my husband to fight with him. I need to rebuild my relationship with my husband.
Wow.
Because he is the one, I am the one he was attracted to in the beginning. He could have chosen among the many.
Yes.
And so I must maintain
wow.
the sparkle. You see? I must maintain that sparkle, that even when there's so many people are coming to him, he will remember, east or west, home is the best. So I'll make a home for him.
Yes.
And when I make a home for him, because I'll be that wise woman. The Bible says a wise woman builds her house. A foolish one will destroy it with her own hands.
Yes.
And so I will choose to be that wise woman. And so I sought counseling to find out, what is it that I need to do right? What is it that I need to change? And what is it that I need to bring and keep my husband close to me? Rather than thinking I'll fight every other person, because you can't. What you need to is to strengthen the bond between you and your husband. What is it that I need to do? Another thing is also, don't excuse mistakes. Because so many times women feel like they are told to bend backward. You are not supposed to bend backward. You take responsibility and allow the other person also to take responsibility for their action. That way, you will not shoulder all burden. Take all the burden by yourself. Because taking the burden all by yourself is what make people break. Because huyu mwanaume siwezani na yeye. Ana behave kama mtoto. Bring that out. Let him know that he needs to man enough. He needs to man enough because he has taken a responsibility. And so don't excuse. Don't hide things under the carpet. Put them out as they are. So that the man can know his possession. And again, also, I have realized through counseling that most women shoulder a lot of responsibility. We are in a generation, you asked why our generation used to succeed while this generation is not succeeding. We have a problem, and it did not start with this generation. It started with the other generation, whereby men started to abdicate or refuse to take responsibility or fail to take responsibility to a point whereby nowadays you hear somebody calling, when we used to call ourselves Damaris Mungai or Damaris Morage for that matter by my father's name, they are saying Damaris wa Jerry or John wa Jerry wa Wajiko. In other words, they are acknowledging their mother as their surname, which never used to be there. What does that message tell us? What does that tell us? It tells us that the man was not present in bringing up this child. And so this child that has brought up by a single parent, we call them super moms. But who has been brought up by a single mom, when they become married themselves, they will expect the wife to be the provider, which is turning things upside down. We need to take back. You know, it's in the book of Jeremiah, which says, go back to
where you lost the way.
Where you lost the way. We need to go back to where we lost the way and correct from there. That we need to take back the man where the man needs to be. The man is the head of the family, just like Christ is the head of church. It's in the book of Ephesians 5. I hope I'm quoting right. And if I'm not, there is Google. And find out. The man is the head of every family. It is not the other way around. Because then we are turning things upside down. When the woman becomes the provider, then the woman becomes the head of the family. And so things have been turned upside down. And so the man doesn't know his place. And so we will have many failing marriages because we have empowered women. There is no problem with an empowered woman. But we have a problem with a weaker man. I don't know whether I'm making sense because I need to make sense. We don't have a problem with an empowered woman, but we have a problem with a weak man. Because a man needs to maintain his headship. I want you to think of God Almighty being a weakling. You see, now having a weak man. And so women are looking up to the man and they can't fight this man. And so it becomes a problem. And so we have many breakages in marriages because of having a weak man. I thank God for the man enough. And I pray to God that it will do much more to bring back. And I have a prayer also that God may bring back the man to his right position, that he may feel the man in the house and not feel a weakling in the home. Because when he feels the weakling, the woman is looking up for authority or for a visionary, but there isn't. And so there is that weakness in the family.
Wow. Thank you so much, Damaris. What has come out clearly is that each parent has to take their position. the man has to take his position, and the mother has to take her position, not to run away from our responsibilities. And for sure, some men have run away from their responsibilities as the fathers, as the providers, and as the priests in that home. And also, I know many have met men complaining on how they have been treated, and that is what has pushed them away from families. But they are still needed. We need to know as men we are needed to take our positions, because our children will inherit what they see from us.
Sure.
So we need to show them the right direction. David,
Yes.
can we talk to men kidogo? How can we take back our position as men? How can we ensure that we will not lose the headship? How can we make sure that we will not lose the position of a man? Or if somebody has lost, tunawezaje mrestore, tumrudishe kwa njia ya ukweli, ya ile yake, the position yake kama mwanaume?
Yes, that's a good question. And it's a concern for each and every person. Yeah. We recognize, I talked about socialization, how we are socialized. First of all, if you study like let's say sociology, you will realize that after 1945, the World War II, where men went out to war,
Yes.
and the women were left in the house. Yeah. And then they started doing things that men used to do and to provide. And then there came a dispensation where there was the issue of women empowerment. Yeah. So you find that the women empowerment, which is good, but the boy child was left wandering and wallowing.
Yes.
So we find that the woman became more and more empowered, and the boy child felt like inferior. We have like, it's a system. It's something that cannot be pointed that this is it, but it's kind of a system that runs, that when opportunities are there, we tend to empower women, which is not bad. What we are saying is, as Christians, as a believer, what does the Bible teach me about my role as a father? What does the Bible teach me about my role as a husband? If this is the lady that I fell for and married, yeah, can we come to an understanding? Can we know where we are? Yeah, because we come into marriage with a lot of fantasies and expectations and things that are not real. But in some way, there's some way that God protects whatever marriage that is there, provided we are agreeable to each other. Yeah, because a man might even have a master's degree, but he doesn't have a job.
Very true.
But the wife who has a diploma or something is already employed and working. There are time, Ecclesiastes 3, it says that there is time for everything. God might provide this time for this woman to support, another time for this man to support. But the big thing is, can we have an understanding of where we are without exaggerations
Mm-hmm.
or without pretending.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Just hold it there. That is amazing. That is powerful. So the second part is coming. And please, I know there are people who are watching and they have not subscribed. Please, 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 please subscribe to our channel, The Kakais. Remember, last week we posted another video which is relating to almost the same, about attitudes which leads to breakup in relationships and divorce in marriages. I want you to kindly go and watch that video. Please, please go and watch that video as we wait for the next part, which is coming. Ha! And by the way, this is what you should expect in the next part coming up.
Will it make me a less of a man because the house is clean? I have cooked for my wife. Will it make me a less of a man?
No.
Tell her, darling, you are the one that is working. You have seen me struggle to look for a job. How would you want us to support one another? God owns everything.
Yes.
And he has put the man as the head of the family. We need to recognize and respect that headship. Even if he has failed. If whatever little another person does,
Appreciate it.
let's appreciate them so that he can do more. Sometimes we look at the negative and fail to see the many positives. If we can work on the positive, we'll have a positive nation rather than a negative one.